Hey guys, I was wondering how I was going to do this. I think I might have figured it out. I'm going to use the Julian date in relation to the Concordia date. Well, we're going to use the Concordia calendar to find the Julian date using Gregorian date. So it's kind of like a deciphering. So we're going to have to use a date that I've already covered on this channel. Also, as a side note, I do like the atlas. I like how this and all there's no black space, there's no empty spaces. You can just align them like this. I really like that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do. So we got my birth chart here, and we're going to do transit date. August 14th, which is September, which is 08, I believe. 11/20/32. I gotta type this in. Alright. August 11th, 2032. Okay, so it shows up. Did it update on OBS? Yes. Alright, so I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Let's see how screenshot works on Atlas. It did tell me that there was like a 7-day trials for uploading images, but I had to log in with I'm already using ChatGPT Plus, so I don't know why they would have a limit on that. So I'm gonna paste this here, drag and drop files here. Okay. Analyze this. Alright, it's uploading. And now we can see it. Okay, what does that look like on OBS? Okay, that looks good. Gotta move it over here, so I'm looking at what you see over here. So I know I don't always do that right. Sometimes I have to look over here when I'm looking at Safari when it's actually right here, what you see. Just pointing that out. I don't mean to do that on purpose. I try to get them aligned, but I got a big enough screen to do it. It's just that sometimes I don't. Alright, this cluster highlights deep intuition, creative drive, potential confusion or disillusion of old structures. Tends to act symbolically rather than directly. Mercury there suggests messages from the subconscious. Nothing's really coming out of me. Emotional intensity and penetrating insight, deep empathy, spirituality and visionary imagination. High real power, stubborn persistence, and focus on destiny themes. It's a major activation. It's like your inner identity and external life are aligning in a blur of inspiration, but also confusion. The line between dream and reality wins. This is based on this is the Julian date for August 24th, 2032. When it was like the spirit and the person was separating, and I was like, what does that mean if you actually saw that? And I'm trying to look for that language in here. I'm not seeing it. Of course, it is speaking more general in this, so it doesn't know who I am. When I made that picture, I didn't copy my name. I just went underneath that and see if it was the same information. So I try to remove bias from it. Emergence of hidden strength, emotional attachments, shedding past emotional attachments. The chart screams rebirth through clarity and chaos. During coronation phase. Long inner cycle in preparation for something monumental. In 2026, 2027 Saturn. Fully aligned in Aries. That's interesting because we didn't do a 2026, 2027 analysis. But we do know that in 2027, we were talking about how Trump would be removed, and there was all that happening on June 19th in 2027. But it says between 2026 and 2027. I guess there's a build-up in 2026. So something, how I interpret that is there's going to be signs in 2026 that point to 2027, June 19th. There's going to be some clear signs. And of course, I'll make videos on that when I see those. You guys know that. Recalibration of self-image, channeling inspiration into structure, breaking illusion of losing vision, merging spiritual and strategic awareness. So all these things are building me up for 2032. All right. It's not as... It's more of it's not like diving into it. You see the surface of it. Like there's a surface level and then there's a surface level above that. That's the reading I'm getting from the language here. There's nothing like something pulling you out. You know, I'm not getting that. Although it does say rebirth through clarity and chaos. But like I said, it could be symbolic for that. So, yeah. So, I think that it could... I prefer... Well, let's go and check the other side. Let's look from both angles. That's the smart thing to do. So, I'm going to do another transit here. Search at the 24. Screenshot. Also, I don't have the date listed on here either. Like the transit date, I don't have that on here. So it's looking at the information itself. So I'm going to add photos and files. You can't see that, can you? Okay, it's not showing up on OBS. I'm going through my documents here to find that image I just took. Analyze this. So this is April 24th. Let's see if they look the same. Do they look the same? No, they don't look the same. This one looks different. Well, they both look different, but from each other. But this has that, and this doesn't. Okay, so let's see what this says. Very strong will, intensity, and persistence. The end of major 12 years personal cycle and the early tremors of a new 20-year structural era. Threshold phase. Huge activation of your natal identity signature. Re-enchantment and fatigue at once. Old motivations dissolve. New ones appear like dreams or visions. Feeling directionless or drained after you chase every inspiration. You can now give durable form to an idea that once felt too experimental. Build frameworks for your long-term vision. Structure through innovation. professional maturation, long-term credibility, refine your public message. I want to say something. I want to point something out when I read all this. I'm not reading that. From your perspective, you're thinking that I'm reading this and I'm trying to act on it. That's not what's going on. I know what's going to happen. It's just that I'm using this as a philosophy for those who know astrology and those who don't. This is a way to get the message out. This is pretty much a way to tell you what's going to happen in a way that I can't tell you, because you won't understand if I told you. So we need these interpreters to say the message. So it's not that I'm reading this and it's not reflecting on who I am consciously while I'm trying to do that. It shows that it's a way to get the message out. I don't know how to really explain that besides that. So it's kind of like telling me what to do and what to expect. That's how I read this. So we're both seeing it from the same angle, except we interpret it differently, because it talks about me specifically, and I'm like, oh yeah, I would have to do that. But for you guys, it's like, what does that mean? But if you watch my videos enough, you see the coherence. Alright, so let's see. Inner conviction meets transcendence. Emotional was creative spiritual. Turning intuition into architecture. Cutting energetic cords from 2012-2024 cycles. Technology or structures guided by empathy. Alright, so here's what I think. I think I'm going to stick to the Gregorian, even though astrology does use the Julian. There's an alignment there, though, that the 13 days does make a difference, and although I don't see the whole spirit pulling out, I think that was just exaggeration of ChatGPT. But it got the point out. It was like, okay, here's how it would look like in your life. So, okay, wait. Let's go back here because I'm reading something on OBS. Now, mid 2026, Pisces stellium completes closure, surrender, and psychic recalibration. 26, 27. That's what we're talking about. Trump thing. Rebirth through tangible creation, dream structure. 28 to 2030. Pluto settles in Aquarius, public transformation, recognition, leadership through radical frameworks. Yes, 2030, like I said, Comic-Con is going to be on the... It should appear in Ukraine in 2029. 2028, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't have any information at this time about 2028. 2029, I'm gonna be, I have decided that I'll be in Ukraine on beginning September 20th of 2029. Yeah, when Maria flies again on September 20th, 2029. Public transformation, and that's pretty much talking about this. Although the original plan, I was gonna be there on April 10th of 2030, but I was looking at more information. Like, why am I staying here when I could be building things elsewhere? So yeah, and then that will cause problems once I leave the United States, and things are gonna really get bad for the United States. It's just a matter of anchoring. I'm like, nothing's keeping me here, so I'll just go to Ukraine in 2029 instead of 2030. There was nothing here. There's nothing else here that catches my attention. But I guess that's the end of this video. Yeah, I don't see anything or think of anything I can talk about. I pretty much talked about everything I needed to in this one. So, I see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.